You're listening to the UK Christian Hip Hop Podcast on Kingdom Culture. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 20 of the UK Christian Hip Hop Podcast on Kingdom Culture. It's a good day today because we're joined with SO.
Salute.
What's going on? How are you doing?
I am good, man. I'm in Texas, trying to stay cool in a very hot.
Ain't happening.
It's just hot, bro. It's hot. But I'm good though, man. How about you guys?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm doing very good. We just lost summer, so literally it's gone.
Yeah,
And we had
the first day of fall.
Yeah, man, flash floods today. So that was exciting to see. But other than that, other than the weather, we're enjoying our day. I don't know, Cass, how you doing?
Yeah, I got had 2 showers today, but yeah, apart from that, it's all right. When I went out in the rain, gosh, but yeah, my day's been all right actually.
That's nice.
Too bad.
Nice.
Does that work?
Does that work? Yeah, Calvin, with your two, you say you normally have just winter and summer.
Yeah, it's
exactly.
Just 2 seasons here. Like you don't feel anything else. But yeah, things have been kind of manic for me. But in the next episode, you're gonna hear more about some of the charity work that I'm working on. 17 different artists from 10 different countries, 5 different producers, all mixed and mastered by me, and it's for Bahamas, and so I'll be excited to share that in the next episode.
Wow.
So I've been busy.
Very busy. Okay, so let's get busy with SO's new album.
Yes.
And controversy as well, which is we want to chop this up and really get your thoughts behind it and really just be honest and open about these topics that are really important to discuss and so forth. So I think a great way to start is to find out about your inspiration behind Augustine's legacy. What was your inspiration?
Yes. So for those who may not know, I'm a hip hop artist originally from Nigeria. Then I moved to London when I was 9, and then now I live in the States with my wife and my daughter. So I've been working on this new album for about a year, and then I had no title. This is my first time ever kind of doing that, not having a title, not having like, hey, which direction am I going? And then one day it was like the anniversary of my dad's passing. He died when I was a teenager, and his first name is Augustine. And so I just went on Instagram and I had said some long post about him waking up that day, thinking everything was normal, going about his business, like he does every single day, like he did every day anyway. And then he passed away. And so just talking about how life is short. And I hashtag Augustine's son, which sounds cool. It's not bad. And then Sophia, my wife, she did something similar on her Instagram, and she hashtag Augustine's legacy. And I was like, yo, that's the album title, So like my whole thing now, like as a 30-year-old, like older, mature now, like I want to leave a legacy, not just for myself, not just for my wife, my daughter, but for the world around, So like I think about the people that we look up to, that we listen to, that we read. They've left the legacy, be it good or bad, like, so there's positive legacies, there's negative legacies. And so like just kind of thinking about, hey, my dad would have been 60 this year. My daughter's going to be 1. This is a great kind of bridge for like that generation, this new generation of Otukpes that's being birthed forth and coming out. Like, yo, my daughter's now an extension of my legacy. So now, as I'm an extension of my dad's legacy, she's now an extension of my legacy, and the legacy is just going to continue on and on. You know what I mean? So like, I just want to leave a positive legacy. Like I'm just thinking through, like in my early 20s, just burning a lot of bridges, like not knowing that, like now you can't even walk into those places. You know what I mean? Like now you can't even talk to some of those people. And if you do, you feel away, like you feel, man, like, I go put my head down and like, but now I'm 30. I'm like, now I want to leave a positive legacy. I want to leave a lasting legacy. I want to leave something that will go beyond me, my daughter. Like, so my dad, some of his philosophies and his way of thinking has been passed on to me. And I'm sure like it didn't start with him.
Yeah.
like it started with some other people. So that's really what it was. Like, it was just thinking through, like, hey man, like, how can I leave this for my daughter and for anybody who would listen? Like, yo, this is my legacy, and we're all leaving one. So can we be mindful of, as Christians specifically, can we be mindful that, yo, like, our actions have a ripple effect beyond just the immediate moment that we decide to do something. So if today, like I did when I was I was young, if today I decide I'm leaving my job, I'm not coming back. I'm not doing I'm not doing it in the right way. I'm just leaving. I'm not coming back. And then those kids that were under me, now they have no teacher. Now the school doesn't have a teacher to teach the students, the over 500 kids. And so it doesn't just affect me, or like, that's grand. What about a simple thing as just telling a lie? You know, like, yo, those little nuances, or in a positive aspect, giving someone something when you know they really need it. Like, yo, there are certain things that we do as believers and that have effects beyond what we can see here and now. So that's really what the album title is about.
It's funny you should say all that, because, like, obviously most of us, I'm pretty sure, we talk about you a lot in this podcast. So your ears might have been burning at certain times, but you talk about legacy, and I don't know if you planned this, but time is such a significant factor on every single one of these albums you've been putting out, from So It Begins, So It Continues, So It Ends.
Yeah.
Time is such an element. And so I don't know if Augustine's legacy was all like, oh, this fits this package I'm putting out, but there's like, you can see like there's a consistency, even though the sound may change and mature and go different directions every now and then. But you know, I thought it was gonna, when you did So It Ends, I thought, all right, it's gonna move on to a different sound. But you kind of did, well, you did do a different sound, but you know, these things take time. Did kind of.
I'm always thinking about time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm never not thinking, how can I, like the Bible says, yo, make the most of the days, make the most of your time, because the days are evil.
Yeah.
Like, I think the Bible's just clear for us. So like, when we read the scriptures, we think the men are talking about Jesus Christ coming, like they thought he was coming back tomorrow. Like, they in their mind, they weren't thinking 2,000, 3,000 years or what. Like, they weren't thinking that. They were always coming back tomorrow. I need to make the most of it. And like, sometimes it's like, I can't pretend like I'm like, that's my super spiritual, like I'm just thinking he's coming back tomorrow, so I'm trying to make the most of it. Sometimes it's like, yo, I just have a feeling that I'm not gonna be here forever. Like, nobody is gonna be here forever, but like, I just have that sense of I'm not gonna be here forever. So let me try to make the most of it. Most days, not every day. Like, some days I just want to chill on the couch and just leave me alone. Let me just watch my anime. Like, don't even bug me. But at that point, I'm like, okay, cool. You got to get up. You got to move. So like, I'm trying to always get the listener to think and remember, like, yo, we're not here forever, man. We're not here forever. This is temporary. This ain't gonna last forever. Like, we need to be doing stuff with our time, with our lives. We need to leave lasting legacy. It's so funny now, like, I'm seeing everybody post something about legacy. I'm like, yo, like, when did this become a thing? Like, when did everyone like start talking about legacy and this, but like, and even like my granddad turned 90 this year. So like, I'm just thinking about his legacy and like all of these things, like Sophia's grandmother part, like it's just everything is kind of coming into one and being like, okay, cool. Like, the time theme, I think, is just always gonna be a thing for my projects, like, because we're not here forever, man. We are not, like, you know, like, we're not here forever. So gotta remind people all the time.
Is that because you're a father now? Like, it did legacy really hit home when you first held your child and you're like, rah, now I'm a dad now. Like,
it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. I look at my daughter all the time and I'm like, rah, you're gonna be 1 next month. Like, I just look at her like, so my wife, she be looking at me and like, why are you crying? And I'm like, but my child is growing. like
real talk.
Growing. Like, but like, she's just growing. You know, I remember, yo, you coming out, like we're taking you home, and now you're saying, Dada. hi, like you're speaking. And I'm like, when did this happen? You know, so there's this level of like everything that I'm doing now, like I'm doing it so that like in my mind, we should be better versions of our parents. Like our parents should look at us and be like, you're a better version of me. Like you're the good parts of me. So now I want my daughter to be that. Like I want her to be the better version of me and my wife. Like the best version, the one that loves God more, the one that is more sacrificial, the one that is more thoughtful to other people. I want her to be the best version of us. So now when I see her growing up, I'm like, dang, this is like, it's ridiculous, you know? But it's a blessing though. It's a blessing to be that, because it gives you a different sense of urgency. It gives you a different sense of, nah, we can't just sit down and do nothing. We got to move. We got to do what we got to do. You know
when you think about your albums, you know, from So It Begins all the way through, what kind of picture and message would you like your daughter to get from it when she can finally consume and understand music in its lyrical form?
Yeah, I think always I want it to always be, here's a guy who loved God and wants to love him more, wants to share his experiences so that he can comfort people with the comfort he's received from God. Like, so when I'm sharing about my dad or purity or this relationship, all of these things, it's ultimately because God has met me in a place, right? And he's comforted me. Like, and then he's not just giving me comfort so that I can hoard it and keep it for myself. It's so that now I've received this comfort from him. Let me share it with the world so that other people can be comforted. You know what I mean? So like when she gets older, that's what I want her to know. Like, yo, this is what daddy was learning at that time. Like, this is what God was saying to him at that time. This is what mommy and daddy were going through. Like people, like when I start breaking down like Sophia and I's like journey, people like, they don't understand. Like this is the same person that I was writing a whole album about breaking up. Like, and now 4 years later, she's on the album cover with my daughter as my wife.
It's crazy.
Like, like how you can't write them kind of stories.
I saw you post that on social. You posted something like that on social media.
Yeah, like you can't write that. Like that legit has to be God.
Yeah.
Like who else can it be? Like, and so you've got these timestamps, these moments in time. But like, oh my, so Shade was moment about, oh daddy, what were you thinking about? Like as a early man, like as an early young man. Oh, listen to this album. It'll tell you.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Dad, what were you thinking about when you start? Oh, listen to this album. It'll tell you. Like, and so that's what I want. Like, it's my biography. That's why it's so personal. It's my biography. So my next thing is gonna be anyway.
You're not gonna say right. So
gonna get some gems.
So when you was what was your decision process when you wrote White Jesus?
Ooh, we're going straight in.
Go straight there.
Now for fork.
My process was real simple. Like I was having conversations with Christians, specifically Black Christians, who were wrestling with whether they could be Black and Christian at the same time. You know, like we're in a space where it's like, yo, some of the people that we grew up listening to, like they're no longer Christians, right? And some of their arguments against Christianity was like, nah, like that's a white man's religion. Some of it was like, nah, like I can't relate to what's being said. Or like I've had people come to me and tell me like, yo, when I first became a Christian, I thought Jesus was white and the devil was Black. Like these are real people. Like we're not making these things up. Like, and so when people, and mind you, like I do want to point out, like I've had that song for a year. I've had White Jesus. I made that August 23rd, 2018. So it's not like it was just fresh this year. Oh my gosh, there's now race conversations. Yeah, let me just write it. Nah. I've been wrestling with this for a very long time.
I think the timing is perfect for this, though.
Yeah, not just me, like other people as well. Like, so if you think about like Hebrew Israelites, big over here in the U.S., like in certain parts, like having conversation. Like there's a kid in my church who started having conversations with Hebrew Israelites, and like that started to like move him a bit in his faith. And so like when I started making those songs, when I made White Jesus, it was clear to me that this isn't just me that needs to hear this. Other people who are going through like this, I won't call it a faith crisis.
Right.
Who are going through, like, how can I be black and serve Christ? Like, that's why I wrote it.
It's crazy that we have to put in an adjective before Christian. It's like American Christian, Western Christianity. It's like, what's with that adjective?
Because the truth is though that there are unfortunately variations. So obviously, like if I go to Ethiopia today and I pull up a picture of White Jesus, they're gonna know for a fact that's not Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, because historically they know what it is. But like I had somebody that I trust and wholeheartedly, like, this is a smart man. He told me that Christianity started with King James.
Wow.
Like, but so like these type of conversations to some people, of course he's not white. Everyone knows that. Well, actually, no. Everyone doesn't know that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everyone is not aware of the ramifications of portraying Jesus a certain color that he's not. Everyone's not aware that there are certain things within the Christian historicalness that have been whitewashed. Like
we already know about the slave Bible.
We didn't grow up knowing that phrases like the Trinity were created by African men. We didn't know that. We didn't grow up knowing that like the Reformation was really happening because Martin Luther was reading Augustine, who's an African man. No one, who's telling us this? Like, who's informing our minds as Africans, as Black people, that your faith is deeply rooted in? No one was doing that. Because every Hollywood movie that we see, white people. The only real depiction, like, is the Prince of Egypt, which is a cartoon. Like, and I'm like, why?
So just let me just slide in here quickly. So I just want to get your thoughts on, do you know that Jay-Z track, I believe it's Jay-Z and Kanye West track, No Church in the Wild? Do you believe that is a great way in terms of your depiction of White Jesus and bringing that track out as I don't want to say you didn't write it as a response to that, but a great response to, because their whole notion was that there's no line of church or Christianity in Africans. What do you think about that track as a snapshot in terms of as you're talking about White Jesus? Because they really pushed that.
I think that if anybody thinks that Christianity is a white man's religion, you've bought into the lie of the white man. The white man that you're fighting to combat has won the war already by making you believe that. Like, when we read the scriptures, we're reading certain parts of Africa. Like, in my mind, I'm like, dog, like, this is crazy. Like, Ethiopian eunuch is there.
Yeah.
Like, Old Testament filled with African references. Like, but the truth of the matter is, like, no one is telling us these things. The question we have to ask is why? Why are we not being educated about these things? Why is no one spending time, especially for those, right, who feel as though like, they taught me something that's not true. Like, why then do they then just throw it out? Why don't we just say, nah, let me put you on the game for a second. Let me show you how deeply rooted your faith is in Africa. Like Ethiopia, African nation, Christian nation before Constantine. What are we saying? Like, earliest depiction of Christ. early Bibles. Like, what are we talking about? Like, that's being saved in Africa, like chilling. So when people come and say like, oh, you know, like Africa's monolithic, like everybody like was worship. No, we weren't all doing that, bro. Like there are places in Africa that were worshiping the one true living God. Like, come on, bro. Like, what are we saying here? Like
African Jews.
So what would you say to comments? Because I've seen some comments at work people have made about this, where they say some people would say that you're stirring up hatred. What's your opinion? Yeah.
If you think I am, I'm not though. Like I don't like my issue is if as a Christian I said to you, Jesus said he's a way. You know, I'm not the bread of life. I might be a slice. You know, you take issue to that. We should take issue to any misrepresentation of Christ. We should take issue to anything outside of the gospel that is a stumbling block to people coming to Christ. Yo, if I said white Jesus is a stumbling block to people for coming to Christ, people should be like, really? I didn't see it like that, you know? Tell me more. They shouldn't say, yo, man, like this, because majority of Americans, yo, man, you're racist. You're saying this and that. Because like I had someone on the phone with me was telling me like, everyone knows the KKK is not Christian. I said, who? Why do you assume that everyone knows?
Yeah.
KKK think they're Christians.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, in that time, your great-great-great-grandfather was not saying they're not Christians. He was not rising up and saying, these guys aren't following the scriptures. These guys, nah, they were just quiet. So like, just because we now know historically, don't mean that everyone is in the same page. So like, in my view, one, to answer your question, any misrepresentation of Christ, I have an issue with. Because I'm a Christian, right? And if we misrepresent Jesus, we give a wrong image of who he is to the world. Therefore, if you come to a Jesus that doesn't care about brown, black, Hispanic, other people that don't look like you, you're worshiping a false God. Full stop. Secondly, I believe, it's just me, if Jesus looked less like my white brothers and sisters, how some of them viewed immigration would be very different. If the Savior looked like the person in chains and in a cage, you would have a different perspective for the person in cages and in chains. It should be different. You wouldn't flippantly say, oh, send them back. Nah, because your Savior looked like that. You have a different view. It flips everything over the head. Like it just flips it, makes me go, wow, huh.
So do you think that your song was hard for some people to understand? Because to listen to it and then watch the visuals, it does bring a different perspective to it. Because just listening to it, I think some people will find it hard to understand, which I think why you probably have got a lot of backlash. However, when you watch the video, it sort of it brings everything to life and gives clarity to what you say. Gives more clarity to what actually you're saying. That's my opinion.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that one thing that we did do is we did a podcast beforehand, right? And we released that the day before so that people could hear some of these thoughts, right? And they don't just catch 3 minutes and 20 seconds of a song. And then, white Jesus, there you worship is a like I'm turn it off. I don't want to hear anything. Off now. You see the visuals, you see me burning the cross. Off that, he's canceled. But if you listen to the podcast, so we're having these type of conversations. Oh, okay, I get it. But of course, like here's another thing I would say. Interpret the art for yourself, listener. We don't go to Picasso and say, explain it to me. We interpret it for ourselves. And we allow his body of work to inform our interpretation. So like if somebody calls me a racist, right? I'd be like, okay, just show me historically how I've been racially motivated.
They can't respond.
They can't. So like I'm saying that, I guess what I'm saying is, cool, you've got this song. You can interpret the song how you want to, right? But give me an informed interpretation. Like, don't just give me oh, he just said that, therefore. Because like the literal first two lines is, I'm about to make a declaration, gather round, ain't no room for segregation. Like I'm literally saying, like everybody, every race, every color, every creed, gather around. There's no room for segregation. Like, so it's not like I'm trying to, oh my gosh, cause a division, cause a divide, the white Christian, the black Christian. Because I think people are saying like there's been some backlash, but it's 30 out of 300. Like, so everybody else is like, yeah, amen. Of course he's not white. And we know the issues of what that is, but it's the few, I think, that are so used to the privilege that when someone comes to challenge that privilege, they're pushed back immediately.
I think I second that, man. I mean, like, let's face it. We don't wake up thinking, well, they don't wake up thinking, I'm white. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they're not challenged by their media, by the TV, by conversations, by, you know, a cop car pulling up next to them. You know what I mean? They're not challenged.
And I do also want to say, it's not, your white Jesus is not just a black and white issue.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I mean? Like, yo, I've got my Hispanic brothers and sisters, they love white Jesus. They love him.
Yeah.
Like my family from Zimbabwe, they love white Jesus. They love him. Like all over the world, there is this preferred image of Christ to be white. And I think that, yo, just from early like Nigeria, right? The missionaries came with the colonizers together. Just think about that. I'm coming to give you Jesus, while at the same time I'm traveling with the people who are coming to take over your land and enslave you. Take everything that you own, give you nothing. Yo, how can you give me Christ and also give me this destructive power? To me, there's something that says it's okay. The Christ that I'm giving you doesn't care about these other people who are coming to destroy you. That's an issue. That whatever color that Jesus is, that ain't Jesus. That Jesus that says it's cool for the colonizer to come and abuse you, to take your land, to rape your women, to flip, like do all of that nonsense, while at the same time giving you the gospel, that ain't Christ. The same Christ that says, hey man, you're a Christian now, but you can't build your economy. All you can be is a teacher. Like this is literally what the missionaries were telling Nigerians. Yo, you can't be a doctor. You can't be a banker. You can't be in government, because if you're in government, you go to hell.
Right. It's crazy,
so how do you expect me to build my land, Mr. Missionary? Like how do you expect me to build wealth and build my community? Come on, bro. Like that. So they were telling them, if you did these things, you go to hell. Like the missionaries who were going to some of these lands, who came with the Spanish, like all of these things, who went with the English and stuff like that, like they had a false Christ that they were representing. Thankfully, people were still getting saved. And it's funny when we read like accounts of like old Christians, and they're like, yo, like God was still moving in that context, even when they were taking stuff out of the Bible. Imagine that. God was still giving salvific work to people, and they will come back and say, no, this ain't it. The Christian, the Christ that you're giving to me, that ain't what I'm reading in the scriptures. You're misrepresenting Christ at that point. So that's my long-winded way of saying, that's just my long-winded way of saying, listen, man, it's a deeper issue than just, hey, he's not white. Okay, but what does that represent, though? Take this. Let's just today, for example. He's not white. He's black. Let's just see how people respond to that. People, oh my gosh, no! How dare you? But when I say we know for a fact, we know unequivocally he's not white. But Esso, man. Why, bruv? You're being racist. Like, why are you pushing back? Like, to me, that just says something more about you than it does.
You said it best, man. You said it best.
Like, that ain't, like, you're pushing back like, you know he's not white. You know it. You agreed with me that he's not white, but you're still pushing back like, but how dare you?
But why do people not want to have this conversation? What is it about the disturbance and the unsettling character of what you're saying that disturbs people so much?
When you've been in power, when you're so used to something, and you just come and hit them with the different people they're not gonna quickly jump to it. They're not gonna be like, yeah, of course. Not it's gonna take time for people for some people anyway. Because like you can have, imagine this, like I'm on Twitter, like, and I'm like, yo, like I put the song out. Someone wrote, yo, oh man, here's another artist race baiting. They're tagging me in it. Someone tell him to go back to preaching Christ all in his speech. I'm like, bro, first of all, the song is called White Jesus. Like, it's about Jesus. Like, it's all about him. Like, so cats some people just aren't gonna get it. And I just have to be okay with that. Like, I'm not here like advocating like we should ban all white Jesuses from the church. Like, people still have white Jesus in the church. It's still gonna be there.
Yeah, some of it's ingrained into the history on the wall.
That's it. That is the point. Like, historically, it's inaccurate. Like, imagine if we've historically given an inaccurate depiction, what else has been changed? Someone could say.
What's a good point?
Someone else will say, what else has been changed? The in the Bible is not. What else has been changed? And we know, like, yo, nothing's really been, like, we know. But now it's our job to let the people who don't know. You know what I mean? Like, by the way, guys, he's not white. So when you talk to the Hebrew Israelite and they're saying, you worship the white? No, I don't, bro. I don't. Like, you walking right, I'm walking by this really happened. I'm walking by them. They're like, and they're hitting the image. This Jesus that's in the churches, I'm like, not my church. You know what I mean? Like,
it really reveals their idol worship. Because,
yeah, it's a fact. That's
what I was saying about the objective ahead of the religion itself. Really highlights what is priority for you. Yeah, so
like, why
black are you so Israelites is really putting blackness. This is like, Charles, we were talking about this earlier. This is like post 75 black and proud. They're just trying to assume where, the black Muslims, because that's what it was before. Nothing's new under the sun. The objective religions, just trying to assume a position where they can, assert a little power over the community.
And I also think that as black Christians, right? Someone asked me like, okay, so what's the solution? Like, how do you, like, what do you? Because like my white Christians in Durham they're not fighting against Hebrew Israelites. They're not. They're just not. Like in Newcastle, it's not like the Hebrew, they're not there in their garb. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're more in the intellectual, atheist, agnostic vibes. There's a different conversation. Like, but for those who are in inner city context, where these conversations are happening and people are leaving the faith because of it, we need to be trained in a urban apologetic that can answer these questions. Like in an urban, like, nah, but let me put you on the game. Let me tell you about Augustine, Tertullian, like Athanasius, like all of these people, like the deep African, like all of this stuff, because those people aren't leaving the faith because of theology. Like, it's not theological. It's ethnically centered. I can't see myself in this religion. Therefore, I'm going to go to a religion where I can see myself. But they either end up being Muslims or whatever, which is interesting to me because that's a different conversation. Because 7th century Muslims, Arabs, they was killed anyway. But so like as those who are engaging with those people in the urban sections, we need to be having these conversations, trying to find ways to engage people. So like the person who comes and tells me, yo, I thought Jesus was white and the devil was black. That does something subconsciously to her when she sees a white person and a black person. Or the person who comes and says to me, I couldn't listen to this preacher because he's black. I was more inclined to listen to white preachers because I believe that they had the right theology. Yo, that's just like where we think that comes from.
You know, it's strange.
That's more to do with
yeah, go on.
idealism again, because my thing is, regardless of who is preaching, what color they are, we should not even be acknowledging that.
Of course.
So that is where it comes to ideology. So that whoever says something like that is because they are idolizing a person, but not.
Yes, but I guess my thing is, where's that come from? Where's that idolatry come from? Like, how do we get to this mindset of white automatically is right? Like, I've been in Nigeria heavy, you know what I mean? Like, just there, and I see how they treat black people, and it's very different to how they treat white people. Like, where do we get that from?
But even the connotations between light and darkness, I think there's an influence from there as well. Or you'll see like the saints were in white robes kind of thing. I think people kind of like ascertain that white is pure and black is dirty.
Yeah, but that's come from because religion and power, kings, empires, the Roman Empire, they use religion to suppress people. They assumed it, let them practice it, but and be in cahoots with the governing power for tax reasons.
So to me, that's why the whole white Jesus thing is a lot deeper than oh, he's not white. Like all these things we're talking about, it comes from Judeo-Christian, like Christians who have misused and misinterpreted certain things. Like, so, like my point is like, yo, we have to gotta just be like this. Be like, yeah, it's deeper than what we think.
It's true.
You know what I mean?
It's
like, so the sisters the brothers and sisters be like, yo, like I couldn't listen. I'm like, bro, like I where you come from? Like, because even when you start to read certain things or watch certain videos, like I was watching a video about colonization, and like the guy was white, and he was saying to himself, like, yeah, like, yo, how they treat me is very different in Africa. Like, yo, they'd be like, yo, I can trust you because you're white. Or I can't trust you. I can't trust that guy because he's black. Which is so interesting to me.
Could I ask you to explain, because you said the phrase you use in the bars was good. It's like Bigfoot on a unicorn on a rainbow. So could you explain how hard it would be to have a white Jesus in Galilee?
It's difficult. Jesus, it's so difficult that Jesus went to Egypt. And, you know, obviously when we see Egypt now ain't what Egypt was. You know what I mean? Like people, Israel now is not what Israel was. Like, and this is not me like on some like, yo, pro like black, all black. Like, I'm like, no, I'm just saying, let's just be historically fair. That's what I'm saying. Let's just be historically fair. So it's tough, man. I don't know.
You know,
it's like me and Durham. It's like me and Durham.
Hearing you now and knowing what Lecrae's been trying to say, and you've probably seen the backlash. He's been seeing backlash regarding bringing up race for the past 5 years.
Yeah.
So I think you already knew what you were going to go into.
Yeah, it's so interesting to me because like people, like my mom thought someone was gonna kill me. Like my mother literally thought somebody was gonna kill me because of this song. Like people thought like, oh, you're not gonna get. But I'm like, yo, I've been busy. Like, you're like, oh, you're not gonna get. Like, doors have been open and they haven't. Like, I'm like, no, like, it's not like God is not. You know what I mean? Like, if I was doing it for the wrong motives, then sure. So I could be like, yes, SO, you're just race baiting. But like, I literally told people if you want to talk about this song, here's my number. You can call me.
Was that really your number?
Yeah. That's not somebody race baiting. That's not somebody that doesn't care about having a conversation.
Yeah,
here's my number. Call me. Let's talk about the song. Oh, you don't understand the bar? Oh yeah, you can just call me directly. Like which artist is doing that?
Yeah, cool Picasso.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like who's like, yo, just call me. Nah. Cool. Like, I understand what the song is. You're gonna. Some people.
Did anyone actually call you though?
Someone did call me. But then I realized that, yo, I can't be doing that because that person, we had a private conversation. That person took our private conversation, put a YouTube comment.
Wow.
Somebody said to him, where did SO say this? And the person replied back, private conversation, he won't deny it. So at that point I said, nah, people just shady like that. You know what I mean? Like it's one thing trying to be open and like be an open artist, but it's another thing like, yo, I can't trust these.
You know what? I would love to hear people have been talking about it a lot. You, Lecrae, Trip Lee, Show Baraka, you know, Propaganda. I'd love for you to go on like a tour where it's music, but you know, you can kind of talk about it, maybe even do a podcast on the way. Like, I would just love to hear, because I feel like in Christian hip hop, it's the only area where we're having this discussion. It's not in gospel. You know, it's not in other, or is it?
It's not in the songs. It might be behind closed doors. It's not. So like, I think when people heard the song, they thought his whole album's gonna be like that. Nah, because we have other conversations.
True.
We're not just talking about race 24/7. You know what I mean? Like, yo, we got this to do, that to do, this. So like, it's an all encompassing like, yo, okay, cool. Like, one day I'm talking about that. The other day I'm trying to figure out, like, yo, how can God love me despite, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to figure out all these other things. So like, I think that people expect us 24/7, like this always. No, bro. I watch anime, Fire Force, Sack. So like, I'm chilling. Like I'm with my daughter. I'm hugging it. Like, she don't care about this stuff. Like,
so
be a good father.
So on that note, just before you go, because we really wanted us to get a few of.
I got 10 minutes. I'm good.
All right, cool. So I just want to just throw some other questions your way, because again, you said we talk about other things as well. I would love to find out your thoughts on advice to other Christian artists starting out. You know, you've been in the game for a long time. There's so much wisdom in there. Could you just give some pointers and things to look out for?
One, I want to big up, because I was listening to another podcast and they were like down in Christian artists in the UK. I want to big up all the Christian artists in the UK who are trying, like, and are trying and moving. I want to big up the urban artists, particularly the rappers, the grime artists. I want to big them up specifically because, you got the UK scene has no website, has no PR. Radio, sure, but not as big as, like, there's not a multitude of radio outlets, right? You go Rec Radio, shout out to Rec Radio. I see you guys playing my stuff all the time. Get me big up, Premier Gospel, all of that stuff. But to be able to stream or sell or do shows, it's God only. Like, so like I'm always impressed when I see an artist do a venue, 500-600 people, sell that out, or do X amount of streams or X amount of sales. Like, I'm always impressed. I'm like, we don't have like the white CCM stuff or worship. Like, man is just rapping for youth groups and certain churches. Not even all the churches are embracing it. Remember that too. And it's in a concentrated area, London primarily. Obviously, there's other regions, Birmingham, Manchester, all doing their stuff. But most of the artists that I know are from London. So like, I just want to like say, listen, if you're out there and you're releasing music and you're releasing albums and you've been doing it for X amount, like, big up to you. Cause it's like, that ain't easy. I think because people think that people just releasing music is an easy thing to do. Like, bro, if you don't know how much, like I just spoke to someone on the phone today. I said, how much it cost you to make a song? He told me $1,000. I said, cut that in half, bro.
Is it
Nah, because I'm like, bro, I'm like, yo, big up. That's why I had to leave. Like, that's why I had to
days.
No, because I was like, the majority of my fans were in the US. Cool, I had an audience in the UK, sure. But I'm like, bro, I need to go where my fans are. Like, I need to engage them. So like, if you have fans in the UK, like, build on that. Like, look at Europe as your 50-something states. Like, go to wherever they'll allow you to perform. Like, get out of just doing churches. Build your own tours. Like, do your own stuff. So you're not only relying on churches to bring you out, to generate. Because what I would love, this is what I would love. I would love men paying mortgages off of their music. That's what I would love. Like, I would love for us to be like, yo, nah, like, I'm a full-time artist in the UK. Like, I do music full-time. And I could pay my mortgage off of this. Like, I could send my kids to school off of this. Like, and people have been doing it on the worship side for ages. Like, and certain a small handful of urban artists, but it's not as much as I would love to see. So my advice is I would love to see more content from us, more albums. Like, find ways to create those bodies of work and release them, and then tour the crap out of it. Like, just tour it. Do 5 dates. Cool, 50 people show up. That's your 50 people. That's yours. Don't watch that. That man are doing 20,000 people at a festival. Sure, great. But can they pull 20 people in their city? No. Like, that says something. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that's what you need to be focused on. How can I? That's why like right now, I want to say, I don't want to say. That's why I like someone right now in the UK. I'm like, yo, he's got the right mindset. He knows what he's doing.
Does it end with a D, a Y?
He knows what he's doing. He's watching. He knows what he's doing. I'm like, bro, we need all of that. Our own imprints, our own this, our own merch. Like, nobody was selling merch. When I was doing meet and greet tickets, they were laughing at me. They were saying, who's paying for VIP to see you, SO? Now everyone's doing VIP in the UK. Because you know what I did? I traveled. I came to the US, saw men doing VIP for $40. I said, what? What? They pay more to see you. All right, cool. Say nothing.
Oh, God, I don't want to talk about VIP when it comes to. Anyway.
That's what I'm saying. Like, VIP.
I've been paying VIP tickets.
Merchandise. Yo, go print some stuff on some t-shirts. Sell that. Do your postal and packaging. Don't wait for people to do that for. Do it yourself. Create your own label. No one's gonna sign you. Cool. Release your own thing. No one's gonna put you on fine. Do your own shows. No one's gonna book your own tour. Cool. Get your friends and book your tour yourself. Find out how much it costs, and then be like, okay, cool. That's the number. How are we gonna get there? You know what I mean? Like, this is the era where there's no is not no. I don't want to hear no. Like, I told someone the other day, I want to shoot a video. I want fire. I want to be burning in the video. I don't want to hear no for an answer. Let's just figure out how to do it, and I don't die. Let's just figure out how to do it. I don't die. Let's just figure out how to do it.
I'm thinking like, yeah.
Let's just figure out how to do it. This ain't the no. We just gonna figure it out. If we fail, cool. If we don't, all right, cool. Like, and then also just know the audience that you're making music for, and focus on your own thing. Like, not everybody can be me. Not everybody can be insert artist. Do you? You know what I mean? Do you? Like, do you? You know, so artists, listen, if you're in the UK right now, you can sell 500 copies. Listen, bruv, you're an anomaly. Like, you are an anomaly, bro. I mean, someone was saying stuff. I'm like, yo, you don't understand. Like, People were burning CDs and selling CDs. Like, you know how hard it is to sell a CD? Like, people be sleep, like, they don't understand, like, now, because we're in the streaming era. Like, it was difficult to sell a CD, and guys were printing CDs and selling them. Like, come on, bro. What you telling me? Like, don't give me that, like, the UK. I mean, you know, because I be hearing, like, oh, UK scene is dead. Nah, bro, it's alive. People still releasing music. Like, there's still new artists popping up.
It's true.
How you tell me it's dead, but there are new artists living, and the current and the artists that were there when I was there are still doing music? Come on, bro. Don't people. Like, so that's my whole thing. Listen, champion all the UK artists, champion them, like champion them to the point where it's like you don't need an American artist to come and sell out Brixton Academy. 5,000 people. That's our goal, bro. Like, it's nothing. With all the churches, if we all rally around, that's not 5,000 people. That's nothing.
Trust.
What we saying? We don't need big church day out. We can do our own festival. That's nothing. We feel like we need to get out of this. We need to wait. No, forget that. All right, what do we need to do? Okay, it costs $5 grand, 10 grand to do this. All right, cool. All right, all right, bro. You got what, 5 churches that you could talk to that can bring maybe like 40, 50 people. All right, cool. I got these other 5 churches, and then we just sell it for 10. No one's gonna make money in the first year. Okay, cool. No, we gonna break even though. We're not gonna be broke. We're gonna break even. We're not gonna make money. But year 5, watch. Watch us in year 5. Year 10, we're still here. What are you telling me? What are you saying to me? That's how these things are built. Not overnight. Like, it's not like a, you know what I mean? Like, you build your audience, you build your fan base, you go, you talk to people. It's hard work. You're engaging them day in, day out. You're talking on your social media. You're doing shows for free. You make sure that when you do your shows for free, you've got merchandise. Like, your merchandise stand needs to look like a boutique. Like, it needs to look like a store. Get mannequins. Get an 8x8 banner. So, like, start collecting data. Get a super phone so people can start calling you and texting you so you can engage with the people who actually want to engage with you. And then before you know it, you've got a database of 10,000 people. You shoot an email out. You ain't spending that much money on marketing.
So saying that, because we've had conversation about with this marketing thing, and find that some of the artists, what I've seen from over here, they rely on social media to do everything. They don't actually go out on feet.
Yeah, you have to.
But do you think people should go out on foot to the people?
It just depends what you're trying to do. I think social media is a key tool, obviously, because it's free. You ain't got, well, you do now if you actually want to reach a certain threshold of people, you do have to pay. But other than that, like, yeah, social media on foot. Listen, sorry guys, it's a little dark. The best way to build your audience is to be in front of them. That's the best way. That's the best way. Travel. That is the best way to build your audience. Travel. Do shows. Do as many shows as you can until you feel like, damn, I can't do no more. Now, do shows. Free, paid. Especially all you men who ain't got families. Oh, bro, you chilling. What you doing? So anyway, guys, listen. It's been a blessing. My wife is outside, so.
Yeah, appreciate your time, man.
Thank you.
Man, I would love to talk more about how to build that, you know what I mean? Because I'm in a space where we can potentially do something and, you know, start labels and little imprints and stuff like that, you know? Yeah, man. But yeah, listen, thank you guys, man,
Thank you so much as well.
Cool, man. It's good to have you on. God bless. So that's we're gonna end it there for episode 20. Man, there's a lot of nuggets, things to up.
Yeah, so
I think
much.
that's the quietest us 3 has been. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That was really good. Hopefully in the future we can have Esso back on to talk about other things and chop other things up. But we're gonna end it there for this episode because we're running long enough. So yeah, again, subscribe to us. Make sure you don't miss an episode. Get us on Apple, get us on Spotify, get us on Google, get us on kcmix.com, wherever it is.
Yes,
Yeah, man. Tell everyone about it, man. Do you know what I mean? Because we're here. I'm supporting UK Christian hip hop, CHH worldwide, what it is for Jesus. Yeah. And we'll catch you for episode 21, God willing. God bless.
You're listening to the UK Christian Hip Hop Podcast on Kingdom Culture.